just watch something, especially an anime series, that just makes you think, wow, I really wasted my life on this shit? Imagine an anime series that you thought, okay, sounds cool, it's gotten a lot of attention, seems like it has potential. You watch it and, you know, the first episode's kind of like, okay, not bad. And then you get to the second one, you're just like, okay. You get to the third, it's like, maybe after the first, you know, it takes the first few episodes. Maybe it'll kick in, like episode 4. Nope. Episode 5. Nope. Episode 6. What am I doing with my life? And that series I'm talking about is School Days. I'm telling you guys, don't watch School Days. It is just god awful. I literally wasted part of my life watching half of the series. I didn't even finish it. Now, I've seen clips to know what happens at the end of the series, and let me tell you, they made episodes 1 through 11 pure garbage just to make the last episode actually somewhat entertaining and watchable. I get it's based off of a visual novel, you know, like of a video game kind of sort of deal. Why make it to where people that are fans of that series don't like the anime series? It's like, if it was a visual novel, keep it as a visual novel. Don't try and make it to where it's like, oh, we could turn it into a series and it might be great, when it just turns out to be pure shit. And it's like, wow, I really could have been watching something more entertaining like Dragon Ball GT. Or I could have been watching the newest season of 7 Deadly Sins. Or I could have been watching, I could have been watching Sergeant Frog. And Sergeant Frog is also shit. School Days was originally a visual novel, and it was a DVD game that was brought onto the PlayStation 2 and the PSP, which stands for, you know, the PlayStation Portable. And for there, you play as some character, a boy, whose name I can't pronounce, nor do I care to even try and say. And you basically are in this love triangle with 2 different girls. And so you play as some dude who is basically a fucking nerd. Nothing wrong with being a nerd.
Bruh, look at this dude.
And you're in this, like I said, love triangle between trying to choose one girl over the other. You can't, because you're a fucking moron, and so you just end up playing both girls. And in the end, guess what happens? Spoiler alert, you get fucking murked by one of the girls, because one of them happens to be fucking batshit crazy. And it's like, oh, well, you know what? You play with me, so I'm gonna fucking cut your head off. And then, you know what? I'm gonna bring it to your side chick in a duffel bag. And then, you know what? After I tell her off, I'm gonna slit her fucking throat. And then, you know what? I'm gonna cut open her Whoa, it just got real dark, and literally all that happens on the last episodes. But I'm letting you know right now, don't waste your time with this said series. I'm not even joking. It literally ends with her cuddling the decapitated head of the boy, the main character, and saying we can finally be together, as she cruises off a boat after killing not only him, but killing the other girl after slitting her throat and opening up. And it's just like this whole thing involving, oh, I like this girl, the other girl is secretly watching.
Oh no, why?
And then messing with that girl, then the other girl is now secretly watching, and she's like,
why did you hurt me?
a whole bunch of, oh, hey, while we're in this classroom, let's all 3 get down, get with it. I get the characters want to have sex, big whoop. It's an anime series. Some series have sex in it, but this like straight up shows it, and it's like on some hentai level.
Obviously, this was a joke. Don't come at me.
But it's like, at the same time, it's really like, oh, why am I burning my eyeballs watching this? I happen to have a friend who likes this show. Yes, believe it or not, I have a good buddy of mine. His name is...
A few moments later.
Yeah, y'all thought I was gonna say his name. No, I'm not gonna put him out there like this. I'm gonna call him up and I'm gonna have him explain to you why he likes this series, because he honestly really fucking loves School Day. And I don't know if I think he likes the visual novel more than the actual anime series itself. But let's give him a call, shall we? See, on the back of my phone, I'm rocking that My Hero Academia case. I don't know if you can see that because of all the light, but it's JoJo. Hey, so I'm recording a video right now, and I'm talking about the series School Days. I just talked about the visual novel, and then I talked about how much I hate the anime series, and I think you know, and I think you know everybody in our group is like a little iffy about this. So if you want to care to explain a little bit on what you liked about this series, because I told my audience that you actually find this series entertaining. Don't know why, but you do. So
So, I'll be honest, when I was in, high school, first year college, and was all, lovesick over a whole bunch of rom-com and rom-dram anime, I was like, yeah, this is alright, but now looking back, I can kind of be horrible, but I can definitely point out all the ways that it is god-awful horrible.
So you changed your mind now.
I did. I mean, there's still some good. It's not like it's the worst anime out there, but it's pretty bad. If I could sum it up, it's like it starts as okay, but then it just gets worse and worse until the infamous episode 12.
Yes, and I just literally talked about how before, when you first mentioned it, I told them that I went back and I watched the series myself, and I stopped because it was just pure shit. But I went and I watched clips of the episodes that I decided not to watch, but I watched all of the last episode, and I remember you showed me a little bit of that too, and I just was like blown away by how they waited to make the last episode somewhat entertaining when they could have just made that whole series good.
Yeah, and I think so the big problem with it, so School Days, if you know about the visual novel, it's like most sim or anime visual novels. I forgot what the technical term for it is, but there's multiple branching paths. There's multiple flags that can be tripped. There's like a good ending, a bad ending, a good ending with this person, a bad ending with that one. The golden goose egg of them all, of course, is the harem ending.
Yeah.
So the problem with the anime, and this is something I've noticed with other anime that tries to adapt games, except for one, and if you want me to, I can talk about that one.
Sure, yeah.
The problem with romance visual novel animes is, of course, with so many different girls to choose, they really have to find a way to make it all work in that episode. Now, granted, I am kind of speaking only from what I know about School Days. Exactly many others out there that do this. If there are, I've really only skimmed over them. But the problem with School Days is, so the bad endings there aren't like normal visual novel endings where it's like, oh, eternal heartbreak, I'm forever alone. It's literally someone dies in a very bloody way.
Oh, yeah.
Now, another problem with that is they try to really just cram everything together. So if you play the visual novel, something I actually praise the visual novel for, the characters' personalities are very flexible. They change depending on your choices rather than most visual novels where, oh, this person, okay, you can tell this girl is a Genki girl, this girl is a tsundere, this girl so-and-so. They really don't change. The characters in the visual novel, Makoto, Sakai, and Kotonoha, they do change. The problem is, in the anime, they try to fit all that together and let's say, oh, all their personalities are going to change. Because in the visual novel, if you start going after Kotonoha, then switch to Sakai, Sakai's all, oh, lovey-dovey, happy and all that, Kotonoha snaps. Then vice versa, you go after Kotonoha, and after cheating on Sakai with her, Sakai snaps and kills her, just like Kotonoha kills Sakai, and the vice versa. The problem with that is that they try to fit all that together. So episode 12 was actually literally a combination of two endings in the game. The endings are To My Children, where Sakai gets pregnant by Makoto.
Yep.
And stabs him, which we saw, and then stabs him over and over and over. But then it also combined Bloody Scarf, which is the infamous ending that everyone knows the School Days game for, the one where Kotonoha cuts Sakai's throat. They tried to fit those two together, and it was really like what do you accomplish with that? Like, I don't know if they're trying to reference the endings in them, or if they just thought, oh, this is a great ending. To me, it just felt like the director honestly had a rage quit and was just like, okay, let's just stomp all the endings together. Back to the personalities also, they made all the characters start good, but then you'll notice in the game, the same goes for Makoto, the player character. His personality can change, and really, they didn't even try to make him seem good. They honestly just made him a sociopathic womanizer who
Yes.
thinks that girls are like machines. Like, oh, if they're broken, they can be fixed. Like you would if you chose the bad ending in the game. And it was really like, okay, why go with the bad ending? They could have gone with the good ending or the harem ending or something else, and it would have had a much better ending. Yeah, you probably would have pissed off a few people, like, oh, I wanted him to get with this girl or that girl. It just didn't work out that way. It's like, oh, let's just give both the two worst endings possible in one. They even reference, for example, him sleeping with other girls, which is possible in the game.
Yep.
But if anything, they were more just, oh, it's part of this character. It's not he actually likes his girls. It's just part of his character being I'll just say it's the Japanese Dan Bilzerian. For anybody who doesn't know who that is, look him up. He's a very terrible person. But honestly, Makoto fits him in the anime to a T. Yeah, so that was the big problem with it. Another thing that I really didn't like is that Makoto in the visual novel, he's a likable guy. Like, we've all been there when we like a girl and it's like, oh, I don't know what to do. We ask our gal pal or someone we know for help. You know, he's a likable guy. You know, I'm very awkward in the game. He's just an awkward, usual teenager. In the anime, they did not make him likable or even attempt to. Like I said, they just made him like this guy who's like, oh, if I want to, I can just sleep with a girl just by saying hi to her. And how many people do you honestly know who are like that? Like, not many.
No.
Like,
No.
Like, and not only that, but really it's like, oh, so he learns how to talk to a girl, and now all of a sudden he's banging them left and right.
Right.
In the game, he has to work for it, and even then, in some cases, if he doesn't choose one of the two main girls, he still has to work for that. Yeah, and I guess also another thing that I just did not. So things I liked about the anime, I will say they stuck to the source material pretty well. They did pretty well, I guess. Yeah, the ending was shit, but I did kind of like how they referenced it, like, oh, this is the Bloody Scarf and To My Children combined into one, but you'd really have to play the game or at least know about the ending to understand that. I did kind of like Sekai's character in that. Yeah, she's not really, I wouldn't call her in the game manipulative like she was in the anime, but at the same time, I kind of like seeing that side from her. Like, there's a little more, if you watch or play the game, you really have to look between the lines to know, okay, there's sexual tension between them. In the anime, it's clear from the minute she takes them to the park and says, hey, let's practice going on a date. You can already tell that it's there, even before she kisses him. So that was a real nice build-up to see that explode over by whichever episode was the pool episode finally went to Sekai's place and did it with her.
I think that I don't want to butcher which episode it was, but I'm just gonna take a wild guess and I'm gonna say it might have been I think it was like 7 or 8. 7?
No, it could have been. It was early on in the series.
Was it?
Because they were doing I think they were doing the Cafe Day and then the Founders Festival.
So that might have been like what, 3 or 4 then?
Yeah, it was early on. Like the whole series was more, if anything, it was not a romance anime. If anything, it was a Netsuura anime. He's cheating on Kotonoha with Sekai simply because Kotonoha is, understandably nervous about having sex.
Yeah.
And so he's like, oh, well, Sekai clearly likes me and she's ETF, so that's it. So it really focuses more on the tension of that. But at the same time, I guess that brings me to another thing I like. I like how there's that twist. Like, when I first watched this, admittedly, I did not think Makoto was going to turn into, like, this womanizing playboy. I thought he was just honestly going to be like, oh, you know what, Sekai, I like you. No, that was a big twist when he slept with Otome, the ponytail girl who was his childhood friend. That's when it's kind of like, oh, shiznit, this guy does not give a fuck about anything but getting laid. Like, which, yeah, that makes him unlikable, but it's still a nice surprise. Like, if you play the game, it's definitely a surprise. Personally, it's nice for me, but I can understand how die-hard fans would be like, no, that's kind of fucked.
Yeah, but alright, man, thank you for giving me your input on what you thought about School Days and everything. I really didn't know that your opinion was going to change like that when I called.
Well, like I said, the only time I've ever seen a visual novel game actually do it right was Amagami, with its anime spin-off Amagami SS.
Mm-hmm.
That one did have multiple girls, way less violent. Bad endings were, if anything, just, forever a lone girl hates me. How they did it, though, and this is my recommendation for School Days, or anybody who wants to, any company out there who wants to try making a visual novel rom-com adaptation, they divide it up into different arcs. So the first 2,
Alright, man. Well, thank you. I appreciate you telling me everything.
No problemo.
I did not know his opinion was going to change when I called, because I swear, this dude hyped up School Days. Now, he did say a few things that he did not like, but it was like slim. He liked it a lot. I was shocked when he said everything he said, because he really did hype this up. If somebody does sign up for like the Patreon deal where I think it was a $20 or a $25 tier, if someone did sign up for it and, you know, and paid $25 and were like, hey, I want you to suffer and watch School Days and actually do a legit anime review on it on the channel, then I would have no choice. I would have to do it. But anyway, guys, that's my video on what I personally think of School Days. I'm so glad I got my friend to come on and kind of talk about the series. You know, I have so many friends within my circle that watch anime, a lot more anime than I have ever watched, let alone watch a diverse amount of anime series to where even some of them live, breathe in anime. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Don't forget to check out all my links to the social media below. I'm talking Facebook, Patreon, Twitter, and even my second channel. Hopefully I'll be having more videos come out on the second channel. Alrighty guys, I am AfroGeek +UltraNappy, and your boy is just